studios of the Metro News Radio Network in Morgantown, this is West Virginia's premier sports talk show.
From Weirton to Welch, Martinsburg to Matewan, and all points in between, this is the Northside Automotive Statewide Sportsline.
Tonight's show is brought to you by Northside Automotive, Route 19 in Summersville. We'll beat the advertised price of any other dealer in the state, guaranteed. Now here's your host, Tony Caridi.
Hey everybody, good evening to you. Welcome in, Northside Automotive Statewide Sportsline, ready to go on this Monday night, 28th day of December, our final Monday of this calendar year, and a lot of things are going on. It's a wild time. It perhaps is one of the most interesting sports weeks of the entire year. Think about it. Perhaps one of the most interesting sports weeks of the entire year because, games just happen for no reason at any time. You can turn your TV on this week, and for some reason, right anytime, a game just comes on. The Today Show is supposed to be on, at 7 in the morning, right, on NBC, and there'll just be a bowl game on. Right? Ellen's supposed to come on 10:30 or 11, and there's international curling competition. They just put it on this week. Everything's weird. We're just sitting here, 6 o'clock, ESPNU. All of a sudden, North Carolina, Greensboro comes on. No reason. 2 o'clock this afternoon, Pitt's on against Navy in Annapolis in the Military Bowl. No reason. It's 2 o'clock in the afternoon on Monday, the 27th, which is kind of nice. I like this week. Just weird. Mountaineers play a noon game Wednesday.
See, I'm a fan of that. I like it.
I think it should happen all the time.
I like it. Just put games on.
All the time. That's what they should do.
Right now, you're not going to sit down and watch every play of Central Michigan, Minnesota, but it's just nice there's a football game on.
You want to give
it, Monday night is college football game.
You want to give it 5, 8, 10 minutes at a time?
Yeah.
You look up at the score and say, hey, this thing's getting kind of close. I'm going to watch it for a little bit. That's what it's all about. Coming up on the program, speaking of the Mountaineer basketball team, the head coach of your West Virginia Mountaineers, Bob Huggins, will join us at the bottom of the hour. We'll talk with Hugs as the Mountaineers get ready to play their first game on the road this season. On the road. Yes, I know they've played away from home, but they haven't played a true road game yet. And they're going to 3 in a row to end the year and start the year. Virginia Tech, Kansas State, and TCU a week from today. Bang, 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 bang. 3 in a row. Wow. Get those 3.
Big stretch, too.
Be huge. We'll talk with the head man, Bob Huggins, coming up. Also, a fantastic high school basketball event taking place on Saturday at Wheeling Jesuit College. They're playing 7 games. Among the field, 5 of the top 7 in the nation, USA Today top 25 at the start of the season, 8 of the top 25. In addition to Wheeling Central's Chase Harler, who will be in action with his Maroon Knights of Wheeling Central. All 7 of those games are going to be available for viewing on ESPN3. And we'll talk with a man that put that tournament together 9 years ago now and does it every year and has become one of the best. And I'm not just saying this because it's here, and I'm not saying this because we've got some involvement in it. I'm literally telling you that it's considered to be one of the best high school basketball tournaments in the country.
Just in the last few years, have you heard of these guys? Andrew Wiggins.
Heard of them.
Jabari Parker.
Heard of them.
Jaleel Okafor.
Yep.
Have all played in this event. That's just a small smattering of who has been in it. This is really one of the great underrated events that goes on in the region and certainly in this state. I mean, if you like basketball and high school basketball, this thing is the deal, man.
Yeah. It goes Saturday morning at 10 a.m., and the last game is 7 o'clock on Saturday. They play 7 games. And since the Mountaineers are playing at 3 in the morning in football,
you can get them all in.
You can get them all in. You can go to Wheeling. You can watch them all or watch them on ESPN3, whatever. You can watch them all and still have 2 hours by the time you get home to watch the Mountaineer football team play. So that's a deal. Plus, the Mountaineer basketball team plays at noon on Saturday against Kansas State. Like I said, I mean, there's just games all the time for no rhyme or reason.
And see, if you come home from the CRC event and you happen to take a little nap and then wake up and it's like 2 in the morning, Mountaineer football game will be on.
Absolutely.
Right?
It's like the old days. For you old-time, well, not real old Mountaineer fans, but you remember the delay Mountaineer football games? Remember the delay Mountaineer games that used to come on at 11:30 on Saturday nights, the day of the game? The game would be played like at 1 or whatever, and then the game would be delayed at 11:30 that night. And the television stations that were carrying the games at that time across the state, they knew you wanted to watch them really badly. And since it was tape delayed, which means they could just pause the tape and put in 81 minutes of commercials. Those games would get over like at 3 in the morning. I mean, they'd start at 11:30, be like 3 in the morning. Boy, it didn't seem like that game was that long at the stadium today. Well, it really wasn't. They just put 81 minutes of commercials in there. Anyway, I don't know how I got onto that, but so that's where we are this week in sport. We'll talk with Doc Greg Merrick coming up, and we'll also talk with Bob Huggins coming up the bottom of the hour. One bowl game is already completed today. Pitt loses in the Military Bowl. Navy just lined up, punched him right in the face. Laughed at him. Well, I don't know if they laughed, but they got down 7-0. Navy did, and then they just went, okay, here, we're going to start playing. They were up 14-7 at halftime, 21-7 at the end of 2. Second half, Pitt got a little something going, got to within 10, and then Navy said no. Outscored them 13-7 in the fourth quarter. They win at 44-28. Navy finishes the campaign 11-2. That's a heck of a year. 11-2 for Navy. They're 21st in the country. Pitt, under Pat Narduzzi's first season, goes 8-5 to end the campaign. Going on right now, it's a difficult game to watch. I honest and truly don't know what the name of the bowl is.
Quick Lane.
Yeah. So it's Central Michigan and Minnesota. Two of the most hideous uniform combinations in the nation on display right now. It's that garbage maroon, and that yellow that's very similar to Arizona State colors.
Minnesota, it's almost identical.
Yeah, it's ugh.
Do you have an issue with maroon? Because I do.
It's the worst color ever.
I don't know what the problem is, but going back, like I can't watch games with Boston College. It bums me out. This game bums me out.
Virginia Tech
bums me out.
Can't look at those. That's a bad maroon.
I think I got a maroon issue.
I can't look at teams that are in maroon.
Now it may.
There's no maroon NFL teams.
Now for me, Tony, my big high school rival was actually nicknamed the Maroons. So you can imagine their color. Their nickname was the Maroons. That's real creative. They were the Dowling Maroons, Dowling Catholic Maroons. So mine may be deep-seated there.
Wheeling Central Maroon Knights. Maroon Knights.
Yeah, I can't do it.
Hey, by the way, speaking of West Des Moines, Iowa, that's what it is. West Des Moines, Iowa, is that what it is? One of the players on Arizona State, I think they're punter. Is there a high school in West Des Moines that begins with a D?
Dowling.
Yeah, Dowling.
That's what I'm talking about, the Dowling Maroons.
This guy played for Dowling.
That's par. You wear maroon in high school, just go out to Arizona State.
Probably a little something to do with it. Coming up when we come back here, Todd Graham talks about the West Virginia game. We'll hear from him. Also, Bob Huggins at the bottom of the hour. Also, baseball trade. The Reds have been trying to get rid of Aroldis Chapman, and they have successfully rid themselves of the all-star reliever, trading him today for 4 minor leaguers to the New York Yankees. 4 minor leaguers for Aroldis Chapman.
Would have been traded earlier to the Dodgers if he didn't have a domestic violence incident issue that cropped up while teams were doing their research on it.
That could be a problem, couldn't it? Could be a problem. 6:16, we invite you to stay tuned. More coming up. Northside Automotive Statewide Sportsline, rolling on.
Good-paying jobs with great benefits are available now. As a correctional officer with the West Virginia Division of Corrections, you'll also have educational opportunities for a degree in criminal justice at reduced prices. High school diploma or GED and drug screening required. Take advantage of an accelerated hiring and training process that other state agencies don't offer. National Guard members get partial credit in the Training Academy. Visit WVDOC.com.
The following information could save your life.
We know it's wintertime. However, on milder days, don't be surprised to see motorcycles on our highways. So here's a reminder to motorists. Always be on the lookout for motorcyclists. And to riders, before you venture out, perform your T-Clock inspection. You know, tires, controls, lights, oil, and chassis. T-Clock. Let's all think safety first, driving or riding on West Virginia highways, no matter the weather.
This message from the West Virginia Governor's Highway Safety Program.
The Northside Automotive Statewide Sportsline returns in 2 minutes. On Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
This fall, not all blockbusters are movies. The Jeep Black Friday Blockbuster Sales Event. It's the must-see event of the year. Well-qualified current lessees of competitive vehicles get a low-mileage lease on the 2015 Grand Cherokee Laredo for $279 a month.
Almost there. Just 5 more minutes. Almost home.
Statistics show that 80% of auto fatalities occur close to home on rural roads.
Cops.
That's why law enforcement is stepping up rural patrols and cracking down on impaired driving. If you are over the limit, you are under arrest because drinking and driving don't mix. Remember, over the limit, under arrest. This message brought to you by the Governor's Highway Safety Program.
Welcome back, everybody. Northside Automotive Statewide Sportsline. Tony Caridi along with the Senator Brad Howe. North Carolina, Baylor tomorrow play their bowl game. Baylor beset by, as everyone knows, injuries. Art Briles starts at quarterback for Baylor tomorrow night.
Kendall Briles at running back.
Should be interesting. Seriously.
I mean, they're really without Stidham, Coleman, and Lockwood, if I'm not mistaken. All three are out for the game. I mean, Stidham's been injured, not back. Linwood out, Coleman out.
Yeah, absolutely. That's that time of the year, man. Weird, though. One spot. Just got crushed.
Yeah.
How about Coleman? How would you like to play Baylor now?
Probably take him now.
Right?
Probably take him now.
Those guys, when we played, a little bit of a problem there. A little bit of a problem. That's how it works. As West Virginia gets set, by the way, the Mountaineers practiced today and leave tomorrow for Oklahoma, for Arizona, and all systems go. I kind of like the way they're doing this. Normally, when you go to a bowl game, you meet at the bowl location, right? So if you go home for the holidays, you leave. If you're from Florida, you'll fly from wherever you are in Florida to the bowl. Instead, they brought them back here, got practice in here. Now all together, they leave like it's a regular road trip. Todd Graham, head coach of the Sun Devils of Arizona State, never to be confused with Oklahoma, talks about motivation. Motivation is so important in these games. Who really wants to play? He was asked if his team will, in his opinion, have the motivation that it needs.
You know, you can't be emotional. You know, you have to be up all the time. And these guys know, I mean, I would, you know, they understand how important this game is for our seniors more than anything. So it should be an emotional game. I like the fact that, you know, it's here and should have a lot of their families and stuff there. So there's no excuses. This is a game, an opportunity to you know, this is the fifth straight bowl game for us, fourth since I've been here, and we need to go win this thing. And that's something that we've taken pride in the past, and we've learned one lesson. We don't want to learn that again.
What'd you take there, Skip?
I think what he's right about is these bowl games come down to almost exclusively motivation, in my opinion, especially in games like this, these non-marquee bowl games, and you've got two teams that are very similar. This simply, to me, comes down to which team wants to be there and wants to play in that game. And I'll say this, Tony, I don't think you can predict that. I don't think even these guys, these coaches that are around these kids every day, I don't think they can predict it. I don't think you know until you get on the field in games like this with teams that have had seasons like West Virginia and Arizona State exactly what you're going to get.
Agreed.
Because we can sit here and make the argument, take Arizona State in particular. They've clearly got some guys and they've got some talent and they've got some playmakers, but they've got issues or they wouldn't have finished 6-6. Some people had them as a dark horse Final Four team this year, and they've fallen down to 6-6 and into this bowl game. So they've got guys. If those guys decide to show up and play, this could be a tough night for West Virginia. If they look at across the line and say, January, I'm done. I don't want to play in this game. I'm done. Just get this season over, which you're going to have some of their guys do, then West Virginia could roll. But you don't know what West Virginia's going to give you either.
Wouldn't you agree when you've got a team that's been shaky mentally during the regular season, the chances are they're going to be shaky in the postseason?
You would think. You would think.
Right?
If I was having to pick a side there, I would say Arizona State does not want to be in this bowl game. If I have to pick, do they want to be there or not? I'd say the majority of their guys don't. That's a pure guess, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, they've clearly had some locker room issues this year that have led them to a 6-6 season. That generally is not going to get fixed by not playing and being away from football for 3 weeks.
Correct.
That would be my guess.
I would agree. I would also caution you that the two times I've been the most incorrect about a team being ready to play.
Probably the same two for me.
Both were in bowl games.
Yes.
Music City.
Yes.
Fiesta.
Yes. Couldn't be in two more mentally fragile states than West Virginia was in both of those scenarios, and they went out and played great. So that's why you say, I don't think you know that. I can give you a guess, and I can tell you a bunch of theories why I think that will happen, but I don't think you know a team until they show up on that field, and I think that goes for this coaching staff.
Agreed. All right, West Virginia on the top of Todd Graham's mind, obviously. The tape has been studied. The game plan has been prepared. What's he think of the Mountaineers?
Really good football team. They obviously their run game, two really, really good running backs, explosive receivers on the outside, very, very skilled. I was trying to think of someone they remind me a lot of UCLA. The outside receivers are really, really fast and we can't let them throw the ball over the top of us. Obviously, that's been, a problem. So we've got to make sure that we do a good job of stopping the run. These guys are load to tackle. I mean, we've been really good against the run, but these guys very, very formidable running attack, and we've got to do a great job of that. And then can't give up cheap ones. We got to tackle in space. And so, that's basically the three things we got to do. I think it'll boil down to takeaways. It'll be a two very evenly matched teams, and be a heck of a game. I think we got to play well.
And it's going to be over 30 days. I think it might be 35 days between games for Arizona State to play. And so how well you tackle, right, is always so important at the start of a season. Once you're into some game rotation, your tackling gets, pretty much shored up. But what happens after a month when you haven't been going full go, which you don't in practice? You never really just lay it out there game go. I mean, you try, you do some, but not consistently and not for a long time. So that does become a huge part of it. One of those running backs that Graham was talking about, Wendell Smallwood's caught his eye.
Their running backs are very, very powerful and hard to tackle, and you can see people have some, he's just quietly had a really, really solid year in a really good league. So probably would remind me a little bit of the kid from Oregon. He's just different. They're different, but definitely a guy that is you're going to have to tackle. And they're going to bring it. They're physical. I mean, they want to be physical up front, and we got to be physical. And then, obviously, big thing's not giving up cheap ones because they got some fast dudes that can get you over the top.
So what happens? Does West Virginia exploit their weakness? Can they go up, complete passes? Can they run the ball against a team that's done very well in stopping the run?
They had a stretch of 6 games this year in Pac-12 play. 5 of those 6 opponents, Arizona State held them to less than 100 yards rushing. That's pretty good. You don't see that every day.
That's really good.
In Pac-12 play, 5 of 6 in a stretch.
Which also begs the question: did they need to throw? Did they need to run it if they were able to throw it?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, but okay. So take that, but look at some of the rushing attempts for those teams. I'll run them down real quick in order: 32, 28, 28, 31, 28, 17. There's your stretch.
It's really good.
And the 17 was Washington State, who doesn't care if they run the ball at all. So those were teams that were trying to run based on those attempts, right?
30 attempts and you're getting less than 100 yards?
Mm-hmm.
That's real.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's real. What else? Todd Graham, obviously, this is not the season, as Brad said, that they thought they would have. Some potentially had them as a big boy bowl game opponent, Final Four type team. Didn't happen for them. So what's the state of his program right now? Like any good salesman, he does not focus on the negative, but rather on the positive. It's all right, all right.
You look outside the window there and see the new stadium going up, new student athletic or football complex going in. These guys have given me everything they've had. It's tough because all you can think about is this year and losing those 4 close football games and losing 2 games in the last play of the game, and you got to win those close games. But I think how I would assess the overall program is we're on a strong foundation. I like the expectations. I like that we've established. People are upset if we don't win at the level that we're at, and that's a good thing. That's not a bad thing whatsoever. But I think that these seniors and what we've done, I'm very, very proud of. Not only what we've done on the field, off the field, in the classroom, in the community, because it's all tied together into future success. So I think we've laid a strong foundation, and I'm proud of the work that we've done here.
See, all right, he's good. Is that kind of politician?
That was classic coach speak there.
Classic politician, right? Do you see how we got early on in there? And of course, we lost 4-2 on the last play. Those are the political points. Those are the things that they hit. Those are the key elements that they hit. So, as well as they could be, is how they are, in his opinion. Meanwhile, what about the relationship between Graham and Mountaineer head coach Dana Holgorsen? There have been some reports that it's been less than cordial. Fair statement?
Yeah, that's fair.
Fair statement? Less than cordial. They've played against each other. They competed against each other. So I guess he was asked, so you talk with Dana or talk to him much? Like, you guys, I don't know, share pictures on Instagram or anything like that?
I'm not a networker guy. I've got a lot of respect for Coach. We've competed against each other a lot of respect for him. He's a great football mind, does a great job. Tony Gibson, their defensive coordinator, worked for me at Pitt, and we worked together at West Virginia. So a lot of mutual respect for them, their staff. They got a really, really good football staff. They do a great job. So a lot of mutual respect, but I don't. There's not very much. I talk to the guys I work with every day, and I talk to my players. That's about it.
So he's not direct messaging Dana. Not what he's doing. So they said all the right things.
That's okay, too. That's kind of a weird question. That's a tough question to answer.
What do you mean? Ask me the question.
Well, why would he call Dana? Why would he talk to Dana on a regular basis? What possibly do they have in common that would allow for conversations during the week, during the season? Right? You're in different leagues. You haven't worked together. You have no relationship with each other. Why would you?
You think the reporter was out there trying to stir something?
Well, I don't know that. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that's
it was.
We hear that answer and well, why is he talking to the guy? You talk to the Arizona State play-by-play guy?
No, I don't know.
No, right? You got an issue with him?
Don't know his name.
There's been reports there's some friction there.
Don't know him.
Oh, you don't talk to him?
Don't talk to him.
No.
Don't know his name.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know his name.
Surprised me. Might be a little something there. Might be a little friction. I don't know why you wouldn't talk to the guy.
That's a solid point. And you know what? And I may not. I may leave the stadium on Saturday and not have
you
talked
just big
to him.
time the guy, roll in, you do your game, you talk to the guys you do the game with, you get back on your bus and you go home.
Yeah, absolutely right.
Right? We're not making a big deal out of it.
I just can't wait to get there on Saturday because I've never done a game behind the end zone in a baseball stadium.
Is that where this is?
Yes.
Now that's where you were slated to do the Pinstripe Bowl, correct? But there was some last minute adjustments.
Wave that one off.
Yeah, you got that fixed.
Yeah, we said now we'll do the game in the middle of the field where you're supposed to be.
Yeah, but this is not the case. You will be in the end zone for this one.
In the end zone, behind the end zone.
Now, I assume you'll have some binoculars or some sort of apparatus that will assist.
I'll have apparatus. Yes, I will. A telescope, whatever it takes.
So you would put you on the ledger for not a fan of games inside a baseball stadium?
No, I don't have a problem with it unless why don't they set the media up the way the media should see the game.
Where would they put you?
Put us in a suite that goes along the horizontal layout of the field.
Well, if they don't have any, well, if they've sold those.
Well, it's horse crap. Then you shouldn't be hosting a bowl game.
No, you're fine. Just watch the TV monitor. Call it off the monitor. ESPN does that now.
Think I will. Bob Huggins joins us when we return. Northside Automotive, Statewide Sportsline.
Someday we'll go to the edge of the galaxy, but for now, you can go to the ends of the earth in a Jeep brand SUV. Find your adventure in the Jeep Grand Cherokee, the most awarded SUV ever. Catch a show of shooting stars underneath the night sky in the Jeep Cherokee, the 2015 four-wheeler of the year. And go far, far away in the Jeep Renegade with up to 31 mpg highway. Hurry in for a great deal at the Jeep Year-End Blockbuster Sales Event. Deal ends January 4th. Star Wars The Force Awakens in theaters now, rated PG-13. Purchase and get 0% APR financing for 75 months or $3,500 total cash allowance on the 2015 Jeep Cherokee Limited 4x4. EPA estimate 1.4-liter engine with manual transmission. 0% APR financing for 75 months equals $1,333 per month per 1,000 financed for well-qualified buyers through Chrysler Capital regardless of down payment. Residency restrictions apply. Take retail delivery by 1/4/16. Jeep is a registered trademark of FCA US LLC.
West Virginia has balanced its budget on the back of the coal industry ever since we became a state 150 years ago. Historically, the coal industry and coal-fired electric utilities have accounted for over 60% of all business taxes, while high-energy wages contribute a disproportionate share of income taxes, and coal severance dollars sustain important programs in all counties. All told, the industry infuses over $26 billion to our state's economy. Coal alone has paid down nearly $1 billion of the state's workers' compensation debt. Consequently, all state businesses have experienced major reductions in workers' comp benefits. The coal industry has always supported our people and our economy, but it's under attack from the Obama administration and the EPA. It's fighting to survive. Coal taxes in West Virginia are higher than our surrounding states. We're losing coal markets to our neighbors. Let's get our mines and coal miners working again. Support a reduced tax rate for mining, paid for by West Virginia Coal Association.
The Northside Automotive Statewide Sportsline returns in 2 minutes. On Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Almost there. Just 5 more minutes. Almost home.
Statistics show that 80% of auto fatalities occur close to home on rural roads.
Gosh, cops.
That's why law enforcement is stepping up rural patrols and cracking down on impaired driving. If you are over the limit, you are under arrest because drinking and driving don't mix. Remember, over the limit, under arrest. This message brought to you by the Governor's Highway Safety Program.
This fall, not all blockbusters are movies. The Jeep Black Friday Blockbuster Sales Event. It's the must-see event of the year. Well-qualified current lessees of competitive vehicles get a low-mileage lease on the 2015 Grand Cherokee Laredo for $279 a month.
Welcome back in, everybody. Northside Automotive Statewide Sportsline. Tony Caridi along with the Senator, Brad Howe. Mountaineer basketball team leaves tomorrow, gets ready for a long road trip. In fact, its longest road trip of the season, 3 in a row away from home. Virginia Tech, Kansas State, and TCU. And joining us right now, the head basketball coach of your West Virginia Mountaineers, Bob Huggins. Good evening, Hugs.
TC, how are you?
I'm wonderful. Did you have a good Christmas?
I did.
Great. Rest a little bit?
A little bit, yeah.
So the big question was, what were the young men going to be like once they returned from a extended break? I heard they practiced extremely well first day back.
The first 2 days.
Oh, that'd be 26 and 27.
Yeah, first 2 days they were very good. Weren't quite as good today, but we aspire to be better tomorrow. How about that?
That's good. That's good. So conditioning-wise, Hugs, you were good with how they came back?
We ran a lot, Tony, the 26th, I guess it was. Ran a lot the 26th. Ran not quite as much, but a good bit the 27th. And then, today we're trying to do a bunch of half-court stuff and get ready for their half-court offense and what they're going to do half-court defensively. So we didn't run up and down as much, and I think they got a little, after running up and down for a couple of days, they got a little stale.
Yeah. Did you jump right in on Virginia Tech, or did you use the first day just to kind of go over some stuff you wanted to work on?
Pretty much what we wanted to work on. Actually, the first probably day and a half, and then at the end got into a little Virginia Tech stuff, and today got into their stuff. Yeah.
How different, Hugs, is this Tech team compared to the one you played last year?
I don't think philosophically that much different. I think personnel-wise they are, but philosophically, I mean, Buzz does what he does, like most coaches do. They're into paint touches. They're going to drive it to the lane, penetrate and pitch. Run whatever they have to run to be able to do that. And I think defensively he's playing probably more multiple defenses than what he did in the past, but I think that's probably because of the youth.
They lost one of their starters at home during the break here. Breaks his foot, going to have surgery. He was averaging 10 and 7. Chris Clark. So obviously that's a loss, and it takes one player away from their bench. How significant in your opinion?
Well, I think it's significant in the fact that he was a undersized 4. And, undersized 4s like we have in our league, I think those are the guys that if you're going to be a good undersized 4, you got to be able to put it on the floor and draw fouls and drive it at the basket and create. And he was very, very good at that. Mm-hmm. So I think it'll take a dimension out of what they do. I don't know whether they go maybe 4 guards, or 4 perimeter guys anyways. Maybe a couple small forwards and a couple guards, or 3 guards and a small forward, or they go bigger, which they have the capability of doing. And actually, their bigs played pretty good against us a year ago, so it would surprise me either way.
After Tech, you dive into Big 12 play. Where do you think you are with this team relative to where you thought you would be at this point as you start to wrap up the non-conference season? Are you ahead of where you thought you'd be or about right where you thought you were?
We're about to find out, aren't we?
Yeah, you are.
I don't know. I mean, I think we tried to play a competitive schedule, but you had a schedule that, you still can play some games at home and make some money. And, it's great to play all the games in Madison Square Garden and do all those things, but you don't make any money. And the reality is we still need to make some money. So I thought we tried to play as good a schedule. And, something's been said about playing Stetson and Bethune-Cookman. Those were part of the Las Vegas Challenge, which we really had no control over. I thought JMU was a good game for us. I thought they played very well. Obviously, have played well since then. So, I don't know. I mean, have we played Big 12 competition? Maybe once, Virginia, and we didn't play very well. We didn't handle it very well. So, we'll see.
I spend a lot of time thinking. You know that, don't you?
Well, and that's hard for me to believe as busy as you are doing all the other things that you do, but maybe when you're driving.
I've got one word that I think I've got one word to figure out what we need to do here as we get ready for this league. One word.
Okay, I'm ready.
Energy.
I think that's very appropriate. Maybe uncharitable.
Uncharitable.
Yeah, maybe that'd be a good word, but since we throw it around so much.
Yeah.
We work like crazy to get the ball, and then give it right back to them for no apparent reason.
Yeah, that kills you when you don't get shots at the basket. I say energy because I just think, Hugs, if we acquire a mindset of being just like irascible, ruthless, get up in your face, that kind of energy that the Mountaineers used last year in the NCAA tournament game against Maryland. We're just like nonstop. We're just coming. That's got to be, as you know, that's got to become the calling card, I think, this team. I think everything else falls in place after that.
I think that's right, Tony. But, you can't steal it and then just hand it back to them. and we've done that multiple times.
Yeah.
And we've got to stop throwing the ball around the way we throw the ball around. It's great to have force 21 turnovers, but then when you give it back to them 18 times, that's not very good.
No, that's only +3. How have you? What have you been doing to suggest to your team that they stop doing that?
Just tell them, please don't do that anymore.
I bet you the first word was please too.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
It was kind of, please, if you would, please don't do that anymore.
Yeah. For some reason I'm not buying all of that, but that's okay.
Sounded good, doesn't it?
Yeah, it did. This is good. I mean, we talked before we went away there for Christmas break there. I mean, these first three, Hugs, if you can get these first three, man, that'd be huge. And there's no givens, as you well know, when anytime you leave home. But that would be a huge. I think if you get these three, everyone will feel good, and then they just start playing ball.
I agree, Tony. But you can't get the first three unless you get the first one.
Mm-hmm.
And
absolutely.
They've sold the place out. Our guy Witt's down there selling tickets on the street corner, I think. They've sold it out. It's going to be a great atmosphere. It's going to be a Big 12 atmosphere. It's going to be an atmosphere that we're going to face when we go to, play the Big 12 schedule. So, and that's, I guess that's, kind of what you want. I just don't know if we want, 3 of them in 7 days, and it is what it is. We kind of succumb to television and this whole deal. And, hey, let's just go win games, That's what I told our guys today, we can say whatever we want to say about, it's good, it's bad, it's this, it's that, but the bottom line is let's just go win games. And we go to Virginia Tech, and then Kansas State's playing, just lots better. And I think probably they went through a little bit what we went through. They kind of purged some guys that weren't in it for the whole and kind of in it for themselves. And now all of a sudden they're playing pretty good team basketball and playing very well. And then, we've been fortunate to win at TCU the last couple of years, but it's been hard. It's not an easy deal. They played very well, and they're opening up the new arena, and which I guess is already open. But I'm sure that place will be packed, and it's just it is what it is in this league.
Yep, it's time. It's time. Hugs, thanks so much for the time. I appreciate it. I didn't want to go a Monday without chatting with you, so I appreciate you spending some time with us.
Well, the only difference is we don't have a little buddy with us to kind of add some humor to the whole deal. So
you know what? I've got a funny feeling we'll get our fill of him over the next week.
I don't think there's any doubt we will. 7 days on the road with him.
Yeah, should be a sitcom.
I'm telling you what, we ought to do again, Tony. We ought to do the questions instead of him.
I agree with you, Hugs. I agree. We'll do it.
All right, brother.
See you, man. Thanks a bunch.
Take care.
Take care. Okay. Bye-bye. There he is, Mountaineer head coach Bob Huggins. It is what it is. 3 in a row on the road. Solid point. You got to get the first one before you can even start thinking about getting 2 or getting 3. And it starts against Virginia Tech. I do think that they'll be. I think they'll be focused. I think they'll be ready to go.
Yeah, you would hope you would after the
layoff.
I think they will. Get some bounce.
But you know why? Also, I think that they're hearing from whoever, from the coaches, from whoever else on the team, from fans, that hey, you guys, okay, you guys are all good to go, but you're not quite what we thought you were going to be. Just wonder, just kind of some. I think they're going to come out and say, okay, here we go.
Well, and this is one of those, and we'll see how this plays out. But you wonder if a packed gym against a team like this helps sometimes, right? And you got veteran guys on this team that have been through this, and you have guys we've talked about a bunch with the attitudes these guys have, a little swagger to them. All right, you guys want to be packed in here and scream. All right, let's go. Bring it on.
Yep,
so sometimes that can help the road team, as hard as that environment is. It wouldn't surprise me if that's the case with this group.
Classic case was last year at Kansas, right?
Yeah.
Brown and Staten are out.
Yeah.
2 little freshman guards go, come on, let's
all
go.
right, let's
we'll
go.
play. So they've been it. All right, we'll be back. Stay with us. Doc Greg Merrick talks about the Cancer Research Classic basketball tournament coming up on Saturday when we come back. Stay there.
Here's a wintertime safe driving message from the West Virginia Department of Transportation. Where there's ice and snow, take it slow. Driving on snow-covered roadways requires more attention and less speed. Also watch for black ice on bridges, ramps, and in shady spots, and especially be cautious around snowplows. The best thing you can do to drive safely in the wintertime is slow down. Where there's ice and snow, take it slow. This winter safety driving message from the West Virginia Department of Transportation Division of Highways and the Safety Management Task Force, saving one life at a time.
There's something about football season in West Virginia. The air's a little crisper, the sense of Mountaineer pride a little deeper, and the Book Exchange is loaded with everything WVU. Fans from all over the state and the nation gearing up with the latest Mountaineer apparel and gifts from the state's largest selection. This is way more than win or lose. This is the pride of being a Mountaineer. Gear up at the place that understands what it means to be a Mountaineer. Visit bookexchangewv.com.
The Northside Automotive Statewide Sportsline returns in 2 minutes. On Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
This fall, not all blockbusters are movies. The Jeep Black Friday Blockbuster Sales Event. It's the must-see event of the year. Well-qualified current lessees of competitive vehicles get a low-mileage lease on the 2015 Grand Cherokee Laredo for $279 a month.
almost there. Just 5 more minutes. Almost home.
Statistics show that 80% of auto fatalities occur close to home on rural roads.
Cops.
That's why law enforcement is stepping up rural patrols and cracking down on impaired driving. If you are over the limit, you are under arrest because drinking and driving don't mix. Remember, over the limit, under arrest. This message brought to you by the Governor's Highway Safety Program.
Welcome back, everybody. Monday night edition, Northside Automotive Statewide Sportsline. Tony Caridi along with the Senator Brad Howe. Minnesota, Central Michigan, third quarter now. What's that ball game's name again? What is it?
Quick Lane.
Yeah, Quick Lane. 10-7 Minnesota on top of Central Michigan, and should call it the Horrible Uniform Bowl being played there. Nothing horrible about our next guest. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dr. Greg Merrick, who's getting ready for the 9th edition of the Cancer Research Classic. Greg, good evening to you.
Hey, Tony. Thanks for having me.
So are you kind of like an expectant father? You spend all year preparing for this event, and now here we go, and you've got 7 games, 14 teams all coming in this coming weekend. Is the hay in the proverbial barn, or are you still dotting I's and crossing T's?
We have pretty much everything done. You know, I have a great staff. Gets all of the things done early, but, you know, there's never a moment when there's not something unexpected that comes up. But I think we're ready, and we're very excited. We have a great lineup, and can't wait till the day gets here.
So we talked about the tournament earlier on in the program. For those that may not be totally familiar about it, just give me the Reader's Digest version of how you got the idea and how you've been able to put together, literally, some of the best teams in the nation together to Wheeling, West Virginia.
Well, the Cancer Research Classic is to help promote men's health in cancer research, and we wanted to use the celebrity of basketball to get that message across. When we began 9 years ago, our goal was simple. We wanted to be the best event in the country. It was for players. We wanted every kid who came here to play to have the best experience in terms of travel, lodging up at Ogilvy, great facility at Jesuit, Nike garments from Tony Dorado, and we wanted to put together something that players would remember. And we've been able to do that. It's a great event. This year, preseason, we had 5 of the top 7 teams in the country coming, and it is a lot of work, but it's a lot of fun.
I talked earlier, Doc, in the show about some of the names that have come through, and I could spend the next 7 or 8 minutes of the show listing off all the guys you've had play there. But just to name a couple, Andrew Wiggins, Jabari Parker, Jalil Okafor, and that's just in the last few years. Give us, as we head into this tournament, give us a few of the names that are rated so highly on the top high school player lists.
Well, you know, last year we had what I said was not 3 NBA players, but 3 future NBA All-Stars. And that was Jalen Brunson, Ben Simmons, and Jason Tatum. And Jason Tatum is our headliner this year. He's a 6'9" shooting guard out of Chaminade in St. Louis, heading to Duke. Kevin Durant, just unbelievably skilled. The Mohamed Bamba kid out of Westtown, #1 junior center in the country, projected probably be the #1 player in the country next year. 7 foot tall, 7'8" wingspan. You know, down with Kevin Boyle at Montverde. There's probably 15 Division I players on that team, including DeSosa and Montgomery. Every team has them. La Lumiere may be the most talented team in the country. Brown and Tillman are surely going to be future NBA players. Gonzaga and Newman Goretti, if you like guards, it's going to be a great game of guard play up and down. Huntington St. Joe's Prep, of course, loaded every year. With Mick Kabungo's younger brother is there this year, but Miles Bridges is really the star, and the matchup between him and Tatum should be something special this year.
Doc, ticket information, what's the best way to get a hold of them?
Going online at thecancerresearchclassic.org. All of the information is there. Our office number is 304-243-2777. 3490 for the first year. This year we have reserved seating. So if you're going to be there all day, it's a great opportunity. You don't have to worry about losing your seat when you get up to grab something to eat or go to the bathroom, and those seats have been going very quickly. There's also group information and group ticket packages. So there's a lot of ways to come. But I think going to the website, cancerresearchclassic.org is a good way to start.
Perfect. And again, we mentioned earlier on, all 7 of the games will be able to be viewed on ESPN3 as well, and that includes Wheeling Central and Chase Harler, so Mountaineer fans can certainly get a look at him along with the tremendous amount of talent. Doc, we appreciate the time very much, and we look forward to the upcoming week. We'll be in touch.
Okay, thanks for having me, Tony.
Okay, buddy. Take care. There he is. Doc Merrick. His name is Greg, but people just know him as Doc. A lot of people don't even know what his name is. He's Doc Merrick, and again, put together this event with truly some of the best players in the entire nation. Hey, if you are going up this weekend to watch, how about Downtown Wheeling's first Friday event of the year later on this week, 4:30 until 10:30 this Friday. Enjoy special prices, extended hours at shops, as well as local food, music, and art. You can hop on one of the free trolleys around the town to get the most out of your evening and explore all of downtown Wheeling that it has to offer. Real culture, you'll find it here. Wild, wonderful West Virginia. That is simply an amazing amount of talent.
Those guys. And
a 6'9" guard that's going to Duke. That's right. You want to go see a little bit of that?
Well, and that Ben Simmons he referred to is at LSU right now is just, I mean, if there wasn't the one year in college rule, that guy'd be in the NBA right now lighting it up. So it's literally not like you're watching one or two guys. You don't have to just get there for the 7 o'clock game. All day long, there are big-time players there.
Yep, one after the other after the other. All right, very good. Special thanks this evening to head coach Bob Huggins for joining us as West Virginia will leave tomorrow on its way to Blacksburg. Also leaving tomorrow, the Mountaineer football team, as they head to Arizona. They not only travel tomorrow, they're also going to practice tomorrow as well. And as I look at my computer screen here, I see that, let me see something there. Oh, it is on. They changed the label. I got nervous there for a second. I didn't see my close card. I didn't have this beautiful music to say goodbye. Got nervous. It's normally red. It's not red. It was green.
Yeah, see?
Jeez.
They messed that color code up a couple months ago. I told you.
Just a little bump in the road, ladies and gentlemen. Don't worry about it. Navy defeats Pitt in the Military Bowl. Minnesota on top of Central Michigan in what's turning out to be a very tight game, 13-7, I should say. Minnesota leading Central Michigan. And again, about 8 minutes to go in the third quarter of that one. You got Monday Night Football coming up tonight, Cincinnati and Denver, and a lot is going on. That'll do it for us. Thanks for being with us. Northside Automotive Statewide Sportsline, a presentation of Metro News. All rights reserved.